radio interviews, radio reels, sorry, radio news reels, okay, radio features. Same way, there are different program formats in a television also. So if you take what is the television? So in the previous class also we discussed television is a audio visual medium. Okay, we can see the picture as well as we can listen to the audio, right? So to make a successful program, okay, so it depends on the how you are writing the story, right? That means the content, how you are writing the story, how you are going to present. So there are different programs and different uh, writing styles for different program formats. Okay, so in the previous class, as we discussed, the content, that means the message plus the presentation. Okay, remember, message plus communication. Sorry, message plus presentation makes a good present, good communication, right? So, so as there are a number of people are joined, so instead of telling me the one-to-one person, I am sharing the PPT, not PPT, it is a material like points, so that we can discuss. Okay. So, right. Yeah. Is it visible? Television production process. Anpis Namiku?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Television production process. So as we discussed, so you have a information, okay, and you need to present. Okay. So both information plus presentation gives a effective communication. So in the case of television, you have information. So you in the television, you are presenting it as a visual as well as audio. So that's why the television is the most effective mass communication medium, right? So in the television, we also written word like a paper, okay, and plus matching visuals. For example, you want to tell a story, okay. So you are showing the visual. Same, for example, uh, chief minister uh, visiting uh, any location, sorry, secretariat, in front of secretariat, there is a planning to install the Telangan Tali statue. So this chief minister is inspecting the area. Okay, so to tell the story, so you are explaining as well as showing the chief minister, so that it gives a effective communication so audience, so that they can remember, they can connect to the your content, right? So sometimes uh, writing the script, by looking at the visual, you may not understand. Okay. But with the help of audio or script, you can understand the complex, very difficult situation also. We can understand by looking at the visual as well as listening to the audio. Okay. That makes the one of the greater advantage of television. Compared to, for example, if you listen to audio, radio, so you only listen to audio, particular audio. Okay. And sometimes you miss, so you may not understand the language, sometimes words, the sentences. But it is in a television, by looking at the visuals, you can understand the what the anchor said or the reporter said. Okay, both. Vice versa, they work as it. Sometimes you may not understand the visual, but by listening to audio, you can understand the visual. Sometimes you may not understand the audio. By looking at the visual, you you can understand the audio as well. Following? అర్థమవుతుందా? Simple. So, for example, if you have a chance in a newspaper, if you don't understand the content while reading the news story, you have option to reread. Again, you can go back to your beginning and read it and understand the content. But it is not possible in a broadcast media like radio and television. But in a television at one site, you can understand the both the visual as well as the audio. Okay. So there are, if you watch television for a day, one day from morning to evening, you will see a different programs. Okay, different formats. Okay, so the program varies and different. So it varies from the content size. Okay, the target audience. Okay, the frequency. That means the number of times how it is broadcasting, the length of the story. Okay, the information they are using, how they are presenting. There are different program formats. In the radio also we discuss, no? So there are radio discussions, radio interviews, radio features, documentaries. Okay, same way here in the television also the same. So the difference is in the radio they have only audio medium. Here in the audio visual medium. Okay, but here you can see the persons as well as visuals. So which is not possible in a radio. Okay, so these programs, for example, if you take, so in the evening, you follow the TV9 or any news channel, mainstream news channel. So sometimes in the classroom, someone said, so 2020 program, 2020 minutes. In a 20 minutes, they present 20 news stories. This is a one style, one format of the presentation. If you follow the 9:30 or 7:30, there are like a magazine type of stories. That means they give you full details, explanation, views, the persons who related to that story, they have a bites, their experiences. Okay, they combined all these to present one particular story. Okay, so we all know that the television is a audio visual medium. So it is a different from other traditional medium like newspaper, television, so newspaper and radio. So in the newspaper, only literate people can read the content, but in the television, the literate as well as illiterates can follow the content. Okay, so it has a combination of word, sound, and visual. Okay, it's a basic things about television. Right, in the beginning also we discussed in the first or second lesson. So different media itself the same. So television, so we call it as a hybrid medium of filmmaking, journalism, and radio. It means, so filmmaking is the process of telling the story in a time, right? It may be any film. So they want to convey one story in a stipulated 2 hours or 2.5 hours duration. Okay, so maybe it may be a fiction or non-fiction story, but in a television, it's the combination of storytelling with the help of journalism. Okay, and radio. Radio means, so radio is audio visual medium, right? Audio medium, right? So the with the help of audio, uh, using the journalism principles and telling the story in a filmmaking style. So, for example, in a 3 minutes, okay, 3 minutes, you want to tell a story, okay. So you need to fit the content, whatever content you want to tell in a 3 minutes. So you use the same process as a uh, film production process, like a pre-production, production, and post-production. Okay, you plan like a film, and you fit into the story in a 3 minutes. Okay, like journalism, proximity, necessity, sensationalism, whatever the values, journalism values, uh, timeliness. Okay, these are some of the basic elements of the news story, right? News values. So that with the help of that, so you are making your television program to reach the audience. Okay, and so television is a compared to other traditional media is a successful medium because audiovisual nature. So immediately, like radio, we receive the news stories immediately. Okay, so they can followed by literates as well as illiterates, and you can access the world news. You can get the news from all over the world. Okay, by sitting your drawing room or uh, room, you can access the. It is like in the previous class also we discussed. It's a window to view the world. Okay, through your television, you are looking at different kinds of programs. Okay, you are accessing different content from the all over the world. Okay, are you following, guys? Anybody?
సార్
వినిపిస్తుంది కదా? ఓకేనా? Because I'm sharing.
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్ వినిపిస్తుంది.
Okay, okay, okay. So in the beginning also we said no. So message plus presentation gives a effective communication. So to get the effective communication, so what is the necessity of communicating effectively? ఎందుకు అసలు మనం ఎందుకు కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయాలి ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా? సో ఇఫ్ యూ కమ్యూనికేట్ ఎఫెక్టివ్లీ, people will watch your content, right? Otherwise, so whatever you like and just throw it on the TV, so nobody interested to watch. అంతే కదా? ఏది మనం ఏది పడితే అది టెలివిజన్ ఇచ్చినాం అనుకోండి, చూస్తారు ఎవరైనా? ఎవరు చూడరు. నోబడి విల్ వాచ్ యువర్ కంటెంట్. ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఏ మెసేజ్ అండ్ రైట్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్, రైట్ మెసేజ్ ప్లస్ రైట్ presentation, that gives you, see, sometimes you have a better content, but if the presentation fails, the communication may not reach the expected audience, as well it may not give the expected results. Okay, so as we said, so words sometimes interpret and unfold. Sometimes it reveals what the visuals are showing on the screen, okay, which we may not understand by looking at the visuals. So the words can interpret the visuals what are appearing on the TV screen. Okay. Unlike newspapers, uh, so you have a chance to reread and again, and if you don't understand again, so you can go back and read again. But as we said, so it's a one shot go. So it a one shot go means, so once the story ends, so you may not repeat the story again. So now you can access through your social media. So sometimes you miss on the television, you can get that story again on the social media or YouTube. Like once they share the same story, and you can rewatch again and again. So that is the help of new media. That means social media. So, but if you talk about broadcast media like television, so it is a one shot go. Okay. Uh, So to understand, so in the previous class also we discussed radio for it is the intimate medium, right? So that means it communicate people with a simple language, and ultimately the language speaks to the audience itself. Okay, so that it reaches the easy to it easy to understand by literates as well as illiterates. So you may not know the who will be your audience. So sometimes illiterates may watch your content or illiterates may. So that your content should be the easy and simple. So instead of telling in the passive voice, so we use simple and active voices. Okay. So we simple. That means the instead of selling uh, uh, earlier we used to have this no Rama kills Ravana. Instead of that, if you say Ravana was killed by Rama, so instead of telling this passive voice, we use simply Rama killed Ravana. Okay. So same way, the TV language is a simple and active voice. So may not have a long and lengthy sentences. So simply they use simple sentences. So, so why? Because so the audience may be illiterate, as illiterate may be educated, and they may have the subject expertization to understand the content. So that the TV channels make the complex information into simple one. Okay, if you join in a television as a content writer or a script writer or copywriter, so you need to make it as a complex uh, sentences into the conversational style of language, okay, into a simple language. So that is your objective. Okay, instead of using lengthy and complex sentences, we simply use uh, short sentences, right? Mm, what else? Ah, sometimes careful about homophones. So in the sentence, sometimes so anchor may read differently from anchor to anchor, but sometimes homophones may confuse the audience. So simply here, so they give an example of site, site. Both are site only, no? All these three are site. Okay, right, like right, 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 and RIT, right. So all are homophones. So people may confuse how you are pronouncing. So you should be careful about the homophones. So instead of using this, so use another words. Okay. In a TV, if you work for a television, so you need to aware of this homophones. Okay, and uh, so we in the beginning, so it is audiovisual medium. So in a television, so either you should have so actually television the production uh, two types. I mean, sometimes if you have a visual, by based on the visual you can write the story. Okay, sometimes what happens, sometimes some event or some incident happens, just you have a footage. Okay, you recorded that one and you come back to your studio or your desk and you will write based on the event, you will explain. Okay, the instant. So we use 5W1H. So based on that, we explain the story. This is the one type of writing the story. Another is, and if you have a pre-planned story, first you write, you have a plan, and according to that plan, you go and shoot the visuals. Okay, are you following? Sometimes, so TV news collection can be a gathering, two types. Sometimes you have a visuals, and based on the visuals, you need to write a story. Another one is based on your story, you go and shoot the visuals. So both are sometimes this is a requirement. So based on your objective. Sometimes you have visuals, you need to write. Sometimes you need to write and go and shoot. Okay. Planned stories and unplanned stories. We call it as a planned stories and unplanned stories. Okay. So in a TV, one has to write based on the visuals, and sometimes sound bite also available. So what is a sound bite? Sound bite is the eyewitness or person involved in the particular event. Maybe it may be anything. So if it is a any political event, political story, sometimes you go and ask the one politician about the incident. If it is a any incident, so go and ask the eyewitness or the persons who involved in a particular event or who is responsible for a particular. For example, if it is an accident or any incident, so you go and ask the eyewitness based on the eyewitness information, and sometimes you collect the information from the authorities like police. Okay, so based on their bites, okay, you need to write the story. Okay, point of view. Sometimes it may you may need to write a point of view of eyewitness or police. So, or else, if you have find another angle, you can write the same story in a different angle. Okay. Uh, so, as a TV journalist, a television journalist has to connect the video to tell the story. So, as a journalist, not just showing the visuals, you may not get the 100% results, but use the correct words to tell the correct story. With the help of visuals, you need to tell the story. Okay. Hmm. There are different program formats. So these programs are different. So if you, I'm telling you, in the morning, from morning 6 to evening 10:30, if you watch any television channel, you have a different types of formats, program formats. So morning, sometimes anchor comes and reads a single story and then another story, another story. This is one format, news format. Sometimes they come and stand in front of one video wall or in a background. They tell the story. Maybe it may be particular story. Okay, so it's like a feature or like so. If you look at a newspaper, so you'll find the news stories in third or fourth pages. You will see editorial pages, editorial stories, and to opposite the editorial, you see the open editorial pages, right? Sometimes the open editor op-eds sometimes written by the experts in the particular field. Okay, anybody can write, but the editorial written by the organization itself, but the open editorial written by the experts. Okay, same way in a television also. So sometimes you will see the news stories and sometimes editorial like stories. So in the editorial, not just a news stories, you will also get the views. Views means the opinion. Okay, views of the channel. Okay, explanations, analysis. Okay, based on that, there are different programs. So why we use this type of stories? Sometimes, for example, uh, if you watch a TV9 or NTV or any mainstream TV5, so 9:30 evening 9:30 9:30 p.m. You will see the detailed stories programs like different 30 minutes magazine and wide angle. These are some of the names for these programs. So in that entire half an hour is dedicated to one single topic. So it may be event or incident or person or anything. Okay. But the entire half an hour, entire bulletin is dedicated to one single topic. Okay. But in a 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., you'll see the number of news stories, news reels. In that, every 3 minutes, they have a different stories. Usually, sometimes 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So they have different formats. So in the afternoon or Evening time, you will see the interviews. Usually, even 7:30 also will see the interviews. Interview is the one of the format of television as well as radio also. Okay, in an interview, you will see the person. So interviewing expert, maybe any topic related to uh, recent update or news. So you will invite and one person and interview the. So it may be a studio or outside the studio also. Okay, it may not be always the studio. So it may be sometimes outside of the studio also. Sometimes if you interview some celebrity or some important VIP, so he may not come to your studio, but you can go to his home or his place and you can record your studio. You record your program, right? So these are the formats. And sometimes in the afternoon, usually you'll get a phone-in programs. Okay, in the phone-in programs, anchor and some expert will discuss something, and they invite the audience to ask the questions or to clarify the doubts. Oh, this is the another format. So this is because you need to attract the target audience. Okay, the ultimate goal of any television content is to attract the audience. Okay, if you had, so there is a logic for this. If you have a uh, large audience for your particular program, okay, number of audience are more for your program, you will get a advertisements based on your audience. For example, if you look at the program in the evening, so one program is dedicated to farmers. If you watch that program, you will see the advertisements related to agriculture, like pesticides. Okay, so that because your target audience is farmers. So whatever the audience, so the particular products so related to that audience will appear in the appear in the advertisements. So based on the advertisements, the TV channel get the income. Are you following, guys? Hello.
Hello.
Following? Okay, na? Audio
Yes,
వినిపిస్తుందా?
yes, yes.
Okay. Is response sometimes. So, so there are different formats for to targeting the different audience. Okay, in the same way, like newspaper also. So in the beginning, so somebody interested in sports. Okay, so there is a dedicated page for sports. Somebody interested in entertainment. So you have a cinema page. Okay, sometimes to dedicated page for women, for men or women especially. So they have a their specific page. Same way, the news channel has same like a newspaper. So there are particular programs for general audience, specific audience. So specific audience, sometimes they have a children specific programs, women specific programs, reformer specific programs. So they, that time they target audience, that particular audience. Okay, it may be whoever need, maybe audience, maybe women, farmers, or children. Uh, so as we said, there are different programs, formats as well as the content is also different. Sometimes if you uh, look at the TV content, so the content presentation is different as well as uh, see. Uh, I remember one program. So for example, if it is a entertainment, okay, see if you observe this point. So if it is entertainment, The anchor in the presentation wears modern dress. You may understand this. Sometimes you may easily identify this one also. So if it is a entertainment program, the anchor wears a modern dress and uses the English, Hindi, and Telugu mixing language. But if it is a program related to farmers, they wear traditional dress and they use only particular language. It may be Telugu, so they won't use any English words or any other language. So they present it in a native language, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
this is because based on your target audience, the format as well as the presentation changes. That's the point. Based on your target audience, the presentation and the content changes. That I want to tell. So example, okay. Sometimes there are like a straight news stories. Okay, will so what happened? This happened. So in the beginning, we discussed no the Telangana Talli statue in front of Secretariat. The CM inspects the land. That is the story. That is the straight story. But so you can interpret. Okay, why CM want to install Telangana Talli statue in front of Secretariat? Okay, you may give your views or opinion. Okay, there are two types programs. Some are straight news stories. Sometimes you may interpret the news stories. Okay, like a newspaper, newspaper has the editorials, right? Editorial in the editorial they explain. Okay, what are the consequences? Why they are choosing this point, this point. So they explain. Same way in a news channel also, they have a different programs. Okay, mm, news stories like gives the information. Okay, sometimes this abuse gives a depth analysis. So you may invite sometimes based on the topic. So like example of this statue. So you may invite experts, okay, or politicians to share their opinion. So different angle. So if you invite other opposition party leaders, they give you another point of view. If you invite the same political party like Congress, so they will give you another point of view. So if you invite analysts, so they give you both sides of perspective. Okay, these are the there are different program formats. So its their main aim is to inform, so give the information, educate. Sometimes the story also gives an interpretation. So you can interpret like this or like that. Okay, and it gives a detailed analysis. So some people interested in straight news, some people interested in discussion or detailed analysis. Okay, are you agree? So sometimes if you want to know the detailed information about particular topic, you need to follow this analysis, like the panel discussions or interviews. So you will get both sides are different perspective on a same topic. But some people may interested in straight news, just they want to know the surroundings. Okay, this is the happening around our surroundings. So the presentation, the content, length, and frequency is different from program to program, right? So the straight news story may have a 2 to 5 minutes, but the interpretation or analysis programs may have a 10 to 15 minutes or sometimes half an hour also. Okay. So straight news gives you the information, exact information, what happening, what is the information. That's it. So the interpretation and analysis gives the consequences, the before and after, the background story, why they choose, or the location. So different aspects. Okay, but in a state story gives in a detailed. So what is happening? So in a newspaper also, you'll see the state stories in the front pages and the analysis and discussion in the editorial pages. Okay, sometimes they mention analysis. If you see the Andhra Jyoti, you will see the analysis by RK, Kottapalku something. Okay, he gives a explanation for everything, right? So what is the why this happened? So what is the consequence? Why they choose this, that? Okay, they give their own perspective based on maybe political affiliation or something, whatever may be, but they give you explanation. And it's also the frequency. If you see news stories, usually every half an hour, there will be a news stories, news bulletin for every half an hour. But the, for example, uh, Idhi Sangati, have you heard about Idhi Sangati? Idhi Sangati is the one of the uh, magazine type of story. That means they give a detailed information in ATV. It's telecast in ATV. Idhi Sangati like 30 minutes and wide angle and magazine. So these are the detailed programs. They have a frequency. Frequencies daily once at 9:30 p.m. or and the same program is repeated on next day at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 a.m. Okay, so 9:30 a.m. So same is a retail casted. So that means every day only the single time. Okay, so this is the single time, right? 9:30 p.m. But the frequency means number of times. How number of times appears in the story. So same story may be same bulletin may be broadcasted another day, next day. It's a particular time. That's it. But a news story, so its frequencies like every half an hour. So every half an hour you will find a different news stories. So in the previous also discussed length. So length news stories length is very small. Maybe sometimes 2 to 5 minutes or 1 minute to 3 minutes. Okay. The content style is also different. They give sometimes straight information in the contents. Sometimes they give explanations. Okay. So there are different formats. The television news. Everybody aware of this one. So in a television news channel, if you take any television channel, they begin with the hour. For example, now it is 10:40, say. So at 11 o'clock, they have a news bulletin, 11 to 11:30. Okay. And 11:30 to 12, they have another program. It may be news-based program, may not be a television news. So it is a news-based program. Maybe any event or maybe any topic related to anything. So entertainment, sports, or anything. Okay, usually political news only they telecast like whatever telecasted in the previous day, like 7:30, they repeat telecast at 11:30 to 12. So 12 p.m. again, they begin with the news bulletin and ends at 12:30. Okay. Again, 12:30, they have a repeat bulletin or any story. Okay, news story, they telecast. But these are the news-based stories, not news stories. They are the news-based stories. Okay, so television, these 24 hours news channels are based on news only, not general entertainment channels. They are news-based channels. Okay, the content so varies from hour to half an hour to half an hour. Okay, but early hours of any hour, the beginning of hour, they start with the news bulletin. So these are the news stories. So again, they have a another format is interviews. So interviews, so it may be full length interview like half an hour or 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Sometimes bites. For example, what is the difference between, there are three difference in interviews, bites and vox populi. So one is the content and second one is the duration. Second differences. So interview maybe 10 minutes to 30 minutes, a lengthy one. So bite is a very short one, maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. 30 seconds here, 30 seconds to. So whenever there is a story, so you will go and ask one person related to that particular story and take his opinion. In a 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes, you will close that bite and you will explain the story. Are you getting this one? అర్థమైందా? అంటే స్టోరీలో మధ్య మధ్యలో వచ్చి మాట్లాడతారు చూడండి. మధ్య మధ్యలో సంబడి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ ఆర్ టేకింగ్ ద rains in Hyderabad. So the problems faced by the people in Hyderabad in a particular location. So and go and take his opinion. Okay, his perspective, and you include that in the story. That is called bite. So it may last for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, maximum 1.5 minutes. In TV, they usually 15 seconds to 30, 40 seconds. That's it. Okay. So it may be for 2 minutes. Okay. And next again contain the same story, explanation and the pointer. But Vox Populi is, for example, if you choose one topic and go and ask the people and collect their opinion. It is the opinion, the voice of people. Vox populi is a Latin word, so meaning voice of the people. So, if, for example, the main the example is, so nowadays these YouTube channels, whenever there is a new movie released, and they go to cinema theaters and ask the audience how is the new movie. Okay, they gives the opinion. Okay, this is good, this is bad. So without any explanation, just they collect the opinion of people, like it lasts for 30 seconds or 1 minute. That's it. So no explanation, nothing, no stories telling, just they collect the bite, opinion of the people. So they make it as a one story. Are you following the difference
Yes.
between interview, bite and vox populi? Interview అంటే ఫుల్ లెంత్ మొత్తం ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఉంటుంది. ఐ మీన్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఇంటర్వ్యూ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ ఆఫ్ అంబేద్కర్ యూనివర్సిటీ. Okay, so you go and interview entire details with the vice chancellor. For example, if you are making a one story on Ambedkar University, in that you may take the opinion of vice chancellor, sometimes your department head, and one student. Okay, so you include these three bytes in a story. That is called a byte. So it may duration may be 30 seconds to 2 minutes, but interview may be 10 to 30 minutes. Okay, but in the Vox Populi, you want to collect the opinion of Ambedkar University students about the particular story course. So, and you go and ask the students how you feel joining this journalism course. You take the 10, 15 people, students of journalism, and take their opinion and make a story. That is called a Vox Pop. These are the different formats. By taking the voice of the people. Vox Populi is the voice of, it's called simply called as the voice of the people. Okay, these are another format. So documentary, usually in the radio also we discuss. Documentary is like taking a serious issue, and we give the full length of the story, full story from the beginning to the ending. It may be usually serious stories. The nature of the story is serious contents like poverty, drugs, serious issues, maybe anything. Okay, unemployment, anything. It may be sometimes documentary on a person also. So they
Hello.
gives a entire.
Hello.
Yes, చెప్పండి. Any doubt?
एक सेकेंड.
చెప్పండి.
Please continue, sir.
हेलो.
చెప్పండి. Tell me.
पासवर्ड देखो, पासवर्ड टाइप करो.
Okay.
589. हाँ.
So I think Maksud, please
Sir,
mute your
answer
mic.
I
answer is trying to help someone to join.
Yes, yes.
will be 837.
Without seeing his face, I've just My voice I'm recognizing is red marks, no? Hmm. Okay. So documentaries usually serious topics. Features in the previous class also we discussed. Features usually the anything, the event, program, anything. But in the presentation style is not to inform serious issues. So it may be anything. It's for entertainment and information. Both feature stories are entertainment as well as. So if you read in a Hindu, you will see some stories. So detailed stories. So they give their own explanation, their own. For example, if you read into paper, there are stories. So not only Hindu, we will see in Inadu or Andhra Jyoti. So some feature stories are so very light in nature, but they give you information. But compared to documentaries, documentary very serious topics. Okay, any poverty like unemployment, drugs. These are the latest topics. Okay, features may be anything. So magazine stories are. So what is the magazine? Magazine in a print. Magazine usually publishes on a stipulated time. It may be a weekly magazine or fortnightly or monthly magazine, right? So magazine gives a different stories. Okay, whichever not covered in a newspaper, you'll get stories and information in the magazines. Why you buy newspaper magazines like a Frontline or Outlook? Okay, they have the same stories. If you take any story, for example, recent news story, UPS Unified Pension Scheme. So you read that so government initiated a new pension scheme UPS. So if you have a 20 years plus ex service, you will get the 50% of your last 12 months average, 50% of last 12 months salary. Sorry, average of last 12 months salary. Okay. Or if you have a less than 20 years service, you will get some amount. So you have a this much service. So this is the news story. You saw it in the newspaper. But if you same story, if you read it in the magazine, they give you entire details. So the previous details, consequences, every details. That is, but it appears on a weekly basis or fortnightly or monthly basis. Same way in a news channel. So you will see the program telecast in every week. For example, mm, in a TV9, there was a program called. Sorry, there are a number of programs, but I remembered one program called a book review. Book review every Sunday 10:30 they have this book review program. They invite one author, okay, one prominent person, and they take one book and they discuss about that particular book. This is a magazine story. Sorry. This is the one type of frequency. So in a magazine story, so in the magazine in a news channel, so in the magazine there are different types of stories, right? Different stories, but they have a explanation, whichever not covered in a daily news. అర్థమైందా? సో ఇప్పుడు మ్యాగజైన్ ఏం చేస్తారు? ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూ లుక్ ఎట్ ద ఫ్రంట్ లైన్ ఆర్ అవుట్లుక్, సేమ్ స్టోరీస్ ఉంటాయి. లైక్ వాట్ ఎవర్ కవర్డ్స్ ఇన్ ద హిందూ పేపర్ ఆర్ టైమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. సో ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్, సో యూ కవర్ సేమ్ స్టోరీస్ in a week and they publish in a weekly basis like frontline and outlook, but they have a detailed information. They have a different topics, not just one topic. Okay, not just one topic, only UPS గురించి ఉండదు. So there are different topics for entire weekly, but they give a detailed information about that particular events in a last 1 week. Same way in a television channel, So there are programs, they cover entire week stories with a detailed explanation. That is called a magazines. అర్థమైందా? కరెక్ట్ చెప్పాను మీకు, అంటే
yes.
కన్వే చేశానా? ఐ మీన్, సో మ్యాగజైన్ తెలుసుగా మీకు. టేక్ ఎనీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, తెలుగు మ్యాగజైన్ ఏముంటుంది తెలుగులో? తెలుగు మ్యాగజైన్ ఒకటి చెప్పండి, వీక్లీ వచ్చేది. So, but in a television, so whatever covered in a daily news also repeat in the magazine, but they give you a different perspective, different opinion, different point of view, and full details. And it is also a mixture of different stories, not just a single story. It's a mixture. It is a combination of different stories. That is called a magazine. Hmm? So next, how to write a script for television. Okay. So television, we all know. So in the beginning, from the beginning itself, we are telling that the television is the audiovisual medium, audiovisual medium. Okay. So every time it is repeating, but we need to understand. Okay. So it involves visual story. So like the problem with television is, so if you work for a problem, you work for a television, you may face some problems. Sometimes, uh, so I will give you an example. Uh, ah, in a news story, for example, if it is a newspaper, you can write the story. So this is happened, and you put a one photo, right? అర్థమైందా? So you have a 4-column story. Okay, it occupied quarter of your front page, and you insert just one single photo, and you write the story about every details. Same thing, if you have a one photo and you have a 5 to 10 paragraphs, okay, in a television, you may not convey the proper story because it requires visuals, not just single photo or content. అర్థమైందా? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, నేను ఒక స్టోరీ, ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ వన్ స్టోరీ. ఇట్స్ అ రియల్ హ్యాపెనింగ్, happened in the while working in ATV. So that time, Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister. Now he's also chief minister. That time, I think 2000, 2006. No, no, not six. So that time is the opposition leader, I think. Okay, opposition leader, 2007 or seven, 7 or 9, 8. I forgot it's yeah.
No problem, sir.
8. Okay. While working in ATV, 2008, I worked for 2006 to 9.
Please.
So during that time, okay, he was the opposition leader. There was a fight between the this uh, Mandarwalla party leaders in Anantapur district. Okay, and just and Chandrababu Naidu was in Switzerland, I think Singapore that time. Okay, I was the person who is editing the story. Okay, I'll tell you a story. So he received a story in ETV. So that was the story. And actually, what happened? So Chandrababu Naidu warned that leaders or their followers to maintain some discipline or follow some rules. Okay, that was the story they want to convey. Warned. So they used the word warned. Chandrababu warned this party leaders for further. So don't do the like that. So they fight, tussle between party leaders in Anantapur district. That was the case. So Chandrababu warned from the Singapore. That was a story that conveyed by the reporter. So actually, I'm searching for the visual where Chandrababu Naidu warned. So how, what he was tell the story. Hey, just I'm looking for the video that the copywriter said. So there is no one said, just they informed. Okay. So you need to convey using a visuals. For that, I searched for a file shots and posted it in the story. That means, are for example, ఇదే సేమ్ స్టోరీ లైక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దట్ మీన్స్ ద స్టోరీ ఈజ్ అనంతపూర్లో పార్టీ లీడర్స్ అండ్ కార్యకర్తలు కొట్టుకున్నారు. సింగపూర్లో ఉన్న చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు మీరు సరిగ్గా పనిచేయకుంటే పార్టీ నుండి చర్యలు తీసుకుంటుంది అని చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు హెచ్చరించారు అనేది స్టోరీ. తెలుగులో దే రిటర్న్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు హెచ్చరించారు. సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ పేపర్, జస్ట్ యూ కెన్ యూజ్ ద చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు ఫోటో అండ్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ ద ఎంటైర్ స్టోరీ. ఫైన్. బట్ ఇన్ ఎ టెలివిజన్, సో ఫస్ట్ నీకు మనకేం విజువల్ కావాలి? సో ద ఫైట్ బిట్వీన్ ద పార్టీ లీడర్స్. యూ నీడ్ టు షో ద పార్టీ లీడర్స్ ఫైటింగ్. అంతే కదా? పార్టీ లీడర్స్ కొట్టుకునే విజువల్స్ కావాలి ఫస్ట్. అవునా?
yes sir.
దెన్ ద వార్నింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద పార్టీ ప్రెసిడెంట్ చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు. వేర్ హీ వాజ్ దట్ టైమ్? హీ వాజ్ ఇన్ సింగపూర్. ఆ సింగపూర్ నుంచి విజువల్ ఎక్కడ తీసుకురావాలి మనం? 2008 అనుకుంటా ఐ థింక్. సో నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్ త్రూ video conference or video. If we post a video on WhatsApp, or we can download and we can post it. Okay, now fine. That time the 3G 4G was not available. So to fill that gap, we used file shots. That means, so what I want to tell is, అర్థమైంది కదా? ఇప్పుడు మనకు విజువల్ ఏం కావాలి? ఫస్ట్ ఫైటింగ్ విజువల్ కావాలి. ఓకే. దెన్ చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు సిబిఎన్ వార్నింగ్ కావాలి. సో యూ నీడ్ టు ఫిల్ ఆల్ దిస్ స్టోరీ. ఇంత స్టోరీ కావాలి, ఇంత స్టోరీని ఫిల్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. బట్ in a newspaper, you can write the story and just simply paste one photo here. Okay, you can convey the entire story. But in a visual medium, in a AV medium, you need to have a visual of this fighting as well as CBN Chandrababu Naidu. So you may use sometimes file shots, or but the what I want to tell is, so while writing for a television, you need to have a visual. You need to tell the story in a visual format, not like a dry story. అదే ఇప్పుడు మనం డ్రై చెప్పినాం అనుకోండి, వాళ్ళు కొట్లాడుతున్నారు, చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు వార్నింగ్ ఇచ్చని చెప్తే నోబడీ బిలీవ్స్ ద స్టోరీ. ఇఫ్ యూ షో ద విజువల్, పీపుల్ టెండ్ టు బిలీవ్, ఓకే, సంథింగ్ ద స్టోరీ ఇస్ రియల్. చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు ఆల్సో వార్న్డ్ కరెక్ట్లీ అని అనుకుంటారు. అదర్వైజ్ మనం సింపుల్గా చెప్పినాం అనుకోండి, పీపుల్ మే నాట్ ట్రస్ట్ యువర్ ఛానల్, యువర్ స్టోరీ. అవునా కదా? So one of the advantage with the television is, so while showing the visuals, people tend to believe. Okay, so sometimes you may observe this P2C. I've heard about this one, P2C, P2C, P2C.
Product to consumer.
No. Product is not considered. Piece to camera.
Piece to camera sir.
Yes, piece to camera.
Okay.
Piece to camera means, so if you watch a television, reporter usually something happened at a particular location. This reporter goes and explains about that particular event, right? That is called a P2C, or piece to camera. That means, so you are telling your audience that, so our reporter went there and collected the genuine information and telling to you. అది దాని మీనింగ్ అర్థమైందా?
yes sir.
సో దిస్ రిపోర్టర్ గోస్ దేర్ అంటే మేము ఏదో ఎవడో చెప్పింది మేము చెప్పట్లేదు. మా రిపోర్టర్ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాడు, అక్కడ ఉన్న ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ కవర్ చేశాడు, చూసి మేము రిపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం మీకు అంటే వీఆర్ టెల్లింగ్ ద ట్రూత్ దట్ దే వాంట్ టు కన్వే విత్ దిస్ P2C, piece to camera. Okay.
And
Same.
it is a very important part of news package, it seems sir.
Yes, the news package seems, because it gives the authenticity.
Okay.
The meaning of P2C is to give a authenticity to your story.
Yes sir.
Okay. So same way, television. So other same story, you want to print it in a newspaper or in a radio, just you can explain and you can publish a story and just put a one photo of Chandrababu Naidu. So the story is conveyed. Okay, but in a television, you need to showcase visual as well as content. That means writing.
Yes, sir.
Words are important. And if you give the sequential order, see this example. The fight first Anantapuram TDP leaders fight for the supremacy. Okay, CBN won. These are story. First, you need to have a ATP Anantapuram. We call the ATP Anantapuram. Anantapuram TDP fighting visual, then Chandrababu Naidu visual. So you will make a one story with both these visuals. Okay, so that people will convinced. That means you have a sequential order. First fighting visual, then Chandrababu Naidu. Okay, so that people will believe. Okay, it's a realistic story. Okay, this same sequential order. Okay, while editing also, while writing also, writing the story in a TV format, you need to have a follow the sequential order. Then, so whatever, and in the beginning also we discussed, write the pictures means, write the picture first means, so whatever picture you have, just write about that. But if you, sometimes you may, if you follow the Telugu channels or channels, they use some file shots. So the story lasts for 3 minutes. Okay, they have a written a 3 minute story. Okay, duration is 3 minutes. Okay, but they have only 30 seconds visuals. Okay, what they usually do, ఏం చేస్తారు మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా? These 30 seconds visuals are repeated every 30 seconds. Once, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Six
Yes,
times.
sir.
Usually they repeat 6 times. So usually this picture, uh, CM Revant Reddy visited Delhi and met Congress President Mallikarjuna Kharge and met Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. This is the story. This visual they have. The visual is one is the Revant Reddy going to meet the Kharge, and one is the meeting visual, and second one is meeting Sonia Gandhi. Third one is Rahul Gandhi. All duration is about 30 seconds. So in the story, they usually tell the purpose, how many people went there, what is the time taken, what is the agenda for the meeting, everything they have in a 3 minutes, but they have only 30 seconds visuals. Okay, so what they do usually, first they repeat, first they play for 30 seconds. It seems like a okay, the story and visuals conveying the same message, but they are in the TV audio narration, they are telling the agenda of the meeting. Instead of showing the agenda, because they have only 30 seconds, no? 30 seconds visuals ఉన్నాయి కదా. Again, they repeat. And again, the purpose, again, they repeat. So this gives a misinformation, right? Instead of giving the proper information, so again and coming and going meet, and again come back, and again meet. So every time, the 30-second visuals are repeated in a 6
Mhm.
times in a 3 minutes. So that means if you have a less length of visuals, you need to tight your script. Instead of 3 minutes, you compress it as a 2 minutes, so that you may chance to repeat only 4 times instead of 6 times. You may have a chance to repeat in a 2 times. Ante kada. Instead of showing 6 times repetition. Okay, if you compress your script to 2 minutes, you have a possibility of 4 times. అర్థమైంది కదా?
Yes,
Hmm?
yes,
So
sir.
that means write the picture first. Whatever pictures you have, according to the pictures, you write the script. Okay, that means so according to visual, right. So in the previous, the beginning of this class also, so sometimes you have a visual, so you need to write a story. Sometimes you may write the story, and according to that, you collect the visuals. Okay, both can be possible. So any package or any story have a three formats, three stages. One is the lead and a middle and ending. That means conclusion. With all these five W's and one H. Okay, in a story, single,
Pyramid style.
not pyramid, not pyramid, inverted pyramid style.
Inverted pyramid. Other
Yeah,
side.
yeah, inverted pyramid. So first important, very important, then so it reduced to least important, inverted pyramid type. So first you have a lead and a middle,
Yeah.
and at the end you have a conclusion.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
using this all five W's and one H. So in the beginning also we discussed the simple and effective words to narrate the visual story. So use the simple words and as well as uh, effective words. Sometimes one word convey the lot of meaning. Instead of using a lengthy sentence, just use simple single word to convey the same meaning. Okay. So if you use that words effectively, the story will be conveyed in a short duration with the effective impact.
Okay, sir.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. Use less words, but effective words. Okay. To narrate the story. So in a short duration, instead of explaining everything, use the simple words, simple and effective words. Tell it in a small duration or least duration. Okay. So, and it requires sci-fi details. So sometimes, as a copywriter, as a script writer, you need to follow the visuals also. Sometimes what happens, the script, the voice is different from the what appears. Sometimes the mismatch between the script and visuals. So as a copywriter and visual editor, you need to follow the same length. So, for example, it's talking about particular thing. So you need to put the particular same visuals on a particular audio track. Okay. So whatever you have, just don't put it as whatever you have. So you try to convey the same message. That means ఇది చాలాసార్లు అవుతుంటది ఛానల్. సో ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ టీవీ ఛానల్స్, సో దే ఆర్ టెల్లింగ్ సంథింగ్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ సీయింగ్ సంథింగ్ ఆన్ ద స్క్రీన్. ఓకే. So, if your story with the details, right words, and correct storytelling, instead of following different narration, చెప్తాం కదా, ముక్క ఎక్కడ ఉందంటే ఇట్లా స్టోరీ తల చుట్టూ తిప్పి డైరెక్ట్ స్ట్రైట్ పాయింట్ ఇక్కడ ఉంటుందని చెప్తే, సో సేమ్ వే ద రైట్ వర్డ్, రైట్ డీటెయిల్స్, కరెక్ట్ bites or interview, okay, and audio, and sometimes they use music. For example, you may understand this, something you watch it on the television. Sometimes they want to project some human interest story, sad story or human interest story. Okay, that time they have a visuals, they have a audio bites, okay, they have a story. So it may not impact 100%, it may impact 80%. Okay, it may attract you as 80%. But if you use sad music or music, okay, that will enhance the your story, right? చూసారు ఎప్పుడైనా సమ్టైమ్స్ మన టీవీ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో ప్రోగ్రామ్ కంటే బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఆడియో విల్ కనెక్ట్ టు యువర్ స్టోరీ. అగ్రీ this
Yes, sir.
most of the times, not just yeah, most of the times. For example, if it is a horror story or it is a very hard story, so sometimes they use horror music and very hard music instead of soft. They use some tension or different music. It creates some impact.
Yes.
Same if it is a human interest story, they use soft music. Okay, that will give you your audience has experience. Okay, they feel like sad. Okay, something happened to this guy. Okay, they have some sympathy towards that particular guy. Right? I agree.
Yes.
The example of this Vaisa Rajshekar Reddy death. During that time, they use one song from movie. అదేందో మూవీ నాకు forgot its name, Gani. But the song connected so many people. అది సింపుల్ గా డెత్ అనుకుంటే ఓకే, యాక్సిడెంటల్ గా ఓకే ఆయన మిస్ అయిపోయాడు చనిపోయాడు ఓకే. బట్ ద సాంగ్ క్రియేట్స్ ఎమోషనల్ కనెక్ట్ టు ద యువర్ ఛానల్. రీసెంట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్
అది జెమినీ మూవీ సార్ అది.
జెమినీ మూవీ కదా. సో అప్పుడు ఎంతమంది
Gemini.
కనెక్ట్ అయింటది రీసెంట్ కదా, నేను ఈ మధ్య చూశాను. వన్ సాంగ్ దే యూస్డ్ రీసెంట్ ఎలక్షన్స్ లో ఎవరో ఓడిపోయినారు. ఓడిపోతే జస్ట్ దే షో ద విజువల్స్ ఆఫ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ లీడర్ అండ్ దే యూజ్ వన్ సాంగ్, బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ సాంగ్. సాంగ్ అది నాకు అనిపించింది ఓకే, ది సాంగ్ ఇస్ మేడ్ ఫర్ హిమ్ ఓన్లీ, ఆయన కోసం చేసి రాయింది అనే రేంజ్ లో ఉంది. దట్ మీన్స్ సో ఇఫ్ యూ యూజ్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఆఫ్ విజువల్ అండ్ రైట్ వర్డ్స్, okay, and you use some interviews. Interview means bytes. Here we call it as a bytes because its length is 2 minutes or 5 minutes. And some audio or music gives a entire wholesome experience. So okay, you are following the same story. Okay, so the if you have a good script, so it is a very chance to success of your program. If you have a మంచి లాంగ్వేజ్, మంచి వర్డ్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తే యూ హ్యావ్ ఏ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఇన్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. సో దెర్ ఆర్ different television programs. So news package, one is the news package where anchor reads and then anchor reads, after that the story begins. Here anchor reads, okay, the story begins. So in the story they have a introduction. The introduction means lead, and they are middle, and they are end. Okay, in this they have a bytes, they have a spot, they have anchor visuals, they have a P2C also. This is the one story. This is the full packed story. Entire details in a give, they will cause the package. Package తెలుసు కదా, ప్యాకేజ్ అంటే ఒక స్టోరీ వస్తుంది అండ్ ద బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నరేషన్ ఉంటుంది, అండ్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ ద పర్సన్ రిలేటెడ్ టు దట్ పర్టికులర్ స్టోరీ appear and tell the point of view, and at the end sometimes the reporters conclude the story. This is called a package. In the beginning, the anchor introduced the story. So this is the main format of the news story. Okay, okay, package. Sometimes a small story, they want to convey the story. They use anchor visual. That means while reading the anchor, the screen appears on the screen. You will see the visuals. The background voice is anchor's one, and the visuals will be of the particular story. That is called anchor visual. Another one is anchor visual byte. Anchor visual byte, AVB. AVB means anchor visual plus byte. So while anchor reads, the visuals appear on the screen. At the end of the anchor voice, you will see one person appear and related to that story and tells the story. Another one is anchor visual spot. Here, anchor reads the story. Anchor while reading also, you will see the visuals on the screen. Anchor ends the reading, and the spot, the audio ambience of the story will continue. So this is used while protests. Usually they use the anchor visual spot used for protests. That means, so there is a protest against petrol price hike at the RTC X road. So anchor read the story about that story, and after completion of the reading the story, you will see and listen to the audio of the protesters. Okay, adi anchor visual spot. Another one is anchor visual and P2C. So anchor read the story and visual appear while reading, and at the end the reporter conclude the story. That is called anchor visual. There are different parts. These are the some of the types: anchor visual byte,
Yes,
anchor visual
package. Yes,
spot.
yes, sir.
Another one is the package. Package is the combination of all these things. Okay, anchor introduce the story, lead reads the intro. We call it as the intro. That means introduction, intro, and the story begins. So this package contains all this anchor, visual, white, and spot. At the end, they are P2C. This is the how different types of uh, news television stories. Okay, news television fact. Different write how to write these things. So if you have a practicals, we have a you can have this anchor. What is the anchor visual? What is the anchor visual, white, and okay. Another so in the previous class also we discussed radio is the intimate media, so we need to write it in that conversational format. So that means so you can the content. So you are explaining the visual as well as talking to simple. So it is simple language. We use simple language. Okay. So another point is here is VNRs. VNRs. Yeah, video news releases. Somebody is repeating. Uh, uh, it's like a press release. So whenever there is a press conference, press conference in the press club or somewhere, they'll after completion of the conference, they will hear uh, as well as 1 or 2 to the somebody. Please mute your system or phone. Okay. Okay. You have a 5 minutes left. So it's like a promotion. So instead of reporters go and collect information, the organization itself
Hello.
creates somebody's. Please mute your mic.
Kundaswamy garu.
హలో
Sir, mute చేయండి మీ ఆడియో మాకు వినిపిస్తుంది మళ్ళీ. Okay.
సార్
Okay. It is like a promotion. So instead of so sometimes reporters may not go to the press conference. Every time whatever appears on the television, newspaper, it is not by collected by this news reporter. So sometimes the organization and the person involved also send it. Sir, it is repeating.
కొండస్వామి గారు మ్యూట్ చేయండి.
Instead of మనకు press conference వెళ్తే they will give you one photo and the details of the press conference. Okay, for newspapers as well as channels. But VNR is instead of writing a script on a paper, they will create a videos and script like a, but it is for the purpose of promoting their particular, it may be organization or the real time example is whenever there's a movie, I think Mahesh Babu movie, I think so they released a VNR. So anchor Suma interviewed the Mahesh Babu, I forgot some celebrity, and same stories distributed among all these news channels. The same anchor Suma introduced the story and introduced the director and actor, and so she asked the questions and they replied. So that means it's called a VNR. Instead of using the same going to every channel, they just create and their perspective, their point of view. So not in negative manner. They want to promote their movie or story. Okay, their project. So usually these are done by the PR, public relation organizations or ad agencies. Okay, corporates and government. Sometimes government also. Sometimes government want to initiate one program. So they make a one story and send it to the all the channels. So all channels usually they transmit. So sometimes they usually transmit the whole story, the entire story, or sometimes the part of the story. Its purpose is main is to create some positive opinion, public opinion, promote their particular product or service or government program. Okay, it's called VNR. It's like a press release. మీకు అందరూ తెలిసి ఉంటుంది ప్రెస్ రిలీజ్ ఏంటంటే దే యూజ్ యూజువల్లీ దే రైట్ ద స్క్రిప్ట్ అండ్ దే సెండ్ ఇట్ టు ద వన్ ఫోటో అలాంగ్ విత్ ద స్క్రిప్ట్ టు ద న్యూస్ పేపర్. Instead of that, they create a one video, same video is sent to the new channels. The new channels may use entire video or sometimes partial of that video. అంటే వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సినంత యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. లేకపోతే if they send a 5 minutes video, channel may not use 5 minutes. They use only 2 minutes of it or 1 minute of it. So just they trim it and use the 1 minute video. అది VNRs. Okay. Adi they use for the purpose of promoting their product, service, or any program. Okay. So remaining are already it's 11:30. So next in the next class we'll discuss about another thing. So you have to
Okay, sir. Thank you.
another class. So how many are joined? 19 people are joined. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's communicative like regular class. Hope any mistakes you can send it to me and we'll rectify in the next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, hi everyone. We request you this class notes, sir. Please send after the class. Okay, the Prasad, sir. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. We'll try to send the notes. Okay. Thank you.
Just
And
if you can
meet you on the
share the
next.
scribble, that would be helpful, sir.
Sorry.
If you can share that scribble which you shared, that
Yeah.
will be enough.
Script.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Sure. So that you can remember the entire class.
Correct.
Just you are reading the
Yeah.
notes and you can remember the entire
Yeah.
class. Okay. Thank you. Please join another class. Thank you.